I kept pushing the millstone until my legs went numb, but for survival, I didn't dare stop. Because if I couldn't complete the task within the specified time, the company would give me an injection and send me to heaven. And the daily food was only one sandwich and a cup of water. I came to apply for the boss's secretary position, but woke up to find myself locked in this terrible place. Then the system issued a prompt, reminding me that I must push the millstone 50 laps within 10 hours. At the same time, there were many colleagues around this room, and if I was the one who pushed the least today, I would receive special punishment at night. From the screams at night, it wasn't hard to tell that the special punishment was not pleasant at all. For survival, I had no choice but to come to the millstone, but I didn't expect this millstone to be so heavy that even with all my strength, I couldn't move it an inch. I couldn't believe that with my weight of over 200 pounds, I couldn't even push a millstone. So I had to adjust my breathing before I could move the millstone. But the test for me wasn't over yet, because I had to push 50 laps to complete the task. To avoid being last, I gritted my teeth and pushed 100 laps on the first day. What I didn't know is that precisely because I exceeded the task, other colleagues faced catastrophic consequences. And because I completed 50 extra laps, naturally my food and sandwich became 2 portions. But those colleagues who couldn't complete the task weren't so lucky. Every day I would hear screams coming from around me, which caused me to be startled awake every night. When the colleague next door learned that my daily workload was 100 laps, he immediately realized that something big might happen. Because once the company knew that employees' limits weren't just 50 laps, the system would likely increase employees' task load. My colleague suggested I not push so many. Just 1 lap more than the basic quota each day would be fine. And never tell others my quota. Because as long as you're not last, you won't be punished. I was very clear about this. But when I thought of my pregnant wife at home, my whole body was filled with motivation. This time I even broke the record, completing 150 laps in one go. Unexpectedly, at this moment, the door suddenly rang. Then the staff asked me to take off my clothes and walk over. This immediately made me extremely nervous. I clearly exceeded the task, so why was I still required to go out?
Approach the goddamn door.
Seeing the staff constantly urging me, I had no choice but to take off my clothes as required and walk out. Unexpectedly, the next second, the machine next to me suddenly started spraying water. Then a bar of soap was thrown over. Only then did I realize that the reward for 150 laps was a bath. So I took a comfortable bath. After bathing, I seemed to understand the rules here, which was that the more laps I pushed, the richer the rewards I might receive, and I might even be released. Thinking of this, I was instantly filled with strength. The next day, I completed 370 laps in one go. I thought that since I completed 6 times the task, maybe I could be released. But who knew? The next second, a reward suddenly came through the small window. When I opened it, it was just an ordinary pen. This immediately made me furious. Saying I had put in so much effort, what use was a broken pen? What I didn't know was that precisely because of my cursing, the system changed my daily task to 370 laps. Then the system told me to perform well. Watching time pass bit by bit, I had no choice but to desperately throw myself into work. But soon I noticed something was wrong, which was that I clearly completed 1 lap, but the screen showed I hadn't pushed. It wasn't until I completed the 2nd lap that I understood I had been punished by the system, and only when I pushed 2 laps would it count. This also meant I had to complete double the work, 740 laps. But 740 laps weren't so easy to complete. Just when I was exhausted and out of breath, I suddenly discovered the name Alex carved in the wood. It wasn't until I asked the colleague next door that I learned Alex was a legendary figure. He was the only person who escaped from this open-air prison.